Today we're taking the stereo out of a 2002 Toyota Camry. We see the stereo in the shop quite often for the CD changer not working. We have heard one story with our, normally we suggest resetting this stereo by disconnecting the car battery and waiting 5 or 10 minutes and hooking it back up. But we have heard one story where this can cause a problem with the car not running properly in a low voltage or computer had to be reset so that the car would run properly. So I would not suggest that till contacting your dealership. But we're going to start today with our pry tool, and we're going to move to the AC control panel here and go into the edge and pry this panel from the dash and work our way around the edges. There are clips that hold this in place, and all the clips release with pry pressure. And we got one end loose. I'm going to work our way down and release the opposite end as well. Now this AC controls can be pulled from the dash. I'm going to pull this forward. You can disconnect this, but we're going to cheat a little bit and just let it lay here below the opening. Next we're going to start with removing the 10mm bolts that are mounted here to hold this stereo in. And the first 10mm bolt is here on the left on the bottom. And we're going to remove this screw. We're going to remove the second mounting screw over here on the right. Before we can do that, we have to remove a third mounting screw way up here in the back. It's another 10mm. That screw is loose. I'm going to see if we can get it up out of here. There we go. Okay, and then over on the right side there is a fourth mounting screw way in towards the back here that we're going to remove. Next we're going to grasp the bottom of the radio and dash here and pull this slightly from the dash. And that releases all the clips. Again, all the clips on this when removing the stereo release with pry pressure. So we're going to pull the stereo in forward. Start here at the top with the connector at the clock and display assembly, and there is a trigger on this connector, but the trigger is at the bottom and you have to push this trigger into the connector and this will release the connector. Now the trigger on most of these connectors are all the same. The trigger is right here. I'm going to push this down with my thumb and it releases the latch that locks it into place. with all these connectors. They are all keyed, so you don't have to worry about labeling them or marking them, because they all go back to the same spot. That's going to allow us to pull the stereo a little bit further from the dash for access to the back of the stereo. Now here at the back of the stereo we're going to have several connectors. One of them is at the antenna here, and I have to find the trigger on that one. That one just no trigger on the antenna. You just grasp the base of the antenna, remove that one. That is the main antenna. There is a secondary antenna on this vehicle, and I'm going to grasp that and remove that one. This is the smaller one, so there are two antennas here. I'm going to move over to the main connector on the back of the stereo, locate the trigger there and push that down and wiggle that connector loose. And that's that is how you remove the stereo from a 2002 Toyota Camry. Hope this video has been helpful. There are a few tricks after installing this radio after being repaired here in the shop, and we'll go over those once the stereo has been repaired. Now we've removed the stereo from the vehicle and removed the trim panel that goes around the face of the stereo. If you look real closely, there are a couple of latches here that coincide with the little notch here on the mounting bracket, and usually a flathead screwdriver in will lift this little lock off so that you can remove the panel from around the face of the stereo. Now we're in the process of repairing the CD player. We've got that completed. We're going to put this face back on and go down and show you the trick when it comes to installing this back into the car. Okay, we've got the radio back in the car. I've got the two antennas hooked back up, and I'm ready to snap the main connector in, and I'm going to do that right now, and the CD changer will go through an initialization process. Once that goes on, you want to hold this stereo perfectly still while the CD changer realigns itself and does all the setting itself up. You don't want to tilt it, you don't want to go forward or backward on this at all, because this can throw the alignment back out because the CD changer's not ready for that. Here we go. Now that's complete, we're going to put this back in the dash, hook it back up, and we're ready to go. Thank you for watching.